Business Now is brought to you by Sprint. Sprint, together with Nextel. Stay connected, stay informed. And in part by the Information Technology Association of America. Business development, networking, and public policy leadership for today's IT industry. And in part by CGI. Experience the commitment. And cooperation with the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and Maryland Public Television.
In the last decade, we have gained unprecedented access to valuable government information at all levels. You can file your taxes online, get fraud and spam alerts, track legislation, and even make reservations for a cabin in a national park with just the click of a mouse. All of that because of the huge integration of information technologies throughout the government to improve the way it does business. Welcome to Business Now Capital Edition. I'm Gary Nirenberg with another report on how the private sector is deploying information technology to improve the way government does business. This access to public data through the internet is the public's way of seeing and experiencing what is now called e-government. But this only represents a fraction of the evolving e-government IT revolution, and there is much more to be done. Agencies have to do a better job of working together, and that means measurable operations improvements across the board. We know that it works. The Fortune 500 invested heavily in IT to improve operations, cut costs, and ultimately increase profits. And that's exactly what happened. Corporate America's investment is responsible for much of the record highs of today's stock markets. But just because it worked for business, can the government pull it off too? Gain these same kinds of returns on their record IT expenditures, and ultimately provide the U.S. stakeholder, the taxpayer, with similar returns. The challenges are nearly impossible to measure. Consider the Fortune 500 has a total of 3 million employees, and the government has 20 million employees. Today, we bring you a special half-hour report on how the government is doing, what's working, what's not, lessons learned in the integration of e-government across its organizations, and how it's changing the way government employees think. For a frank discussion of the progress we're making, we assembled a panel of experts for our Tech Talk Roundtable, moderated by the President and CEO of the Information Technology Association of America, Phil Bond.
Hello, I'm Phil Bond. When President George W. Bush introduced his agenda for managing our massive federal government, he knew that information technology had to play a key role. Through the President's e-government program, the administration is working with technology companies on government-wide solutions to make it easy for citizens and businesses to interact with their government, also to save taxpayer dollars and to streamline communications. 6 years into this presidency, there are some real success stories to discuss in areas like filing taxes. There have been plenty of challenges too, from interagency rivalry to struggles in Congress. Still, it's fair to say the concept is spreading. Federal departments and agencies have bought into the philosophy of e-government, and they're applying it to their own initiatives. Here to join me to take stock of e-government in 2007 are Clay Johnson, Deputy Director for Management at the Office of Management and Budget, Michael Farber, Vice President with Booz Allen Hamilton, and Nick Wakeman, Editor-in-Chief of Washington Technology Magazine. Nick, you've been reporting in this space for some 10 years now. Why don't we go to you first and tell me where you see things with e-government.
Well, e-gov has been a great topic to follow over the last 6-7 years, and there's a lot of different ways to look at it, whether it's been a success or not. I mean, there's, as you mentioned in your intro, there have been some struggles and things, but if you look at the, I guess, e-gov with the capital E of the 25 lines of business and the President Initiative, it's kind of been up and down. But if you look at it more broadly across government with the smaller E in e-gov, I think it's been a tremendous success because the agency.
Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great success.
7.5.
I could have said, you know, green, red, yellow, but 7.5. Clay, you're overseeing all this. What about 7.5?
That's a good score. We thought we would be further along than we are now. We thought things would unfold and take hold faster. but we're very pleased with the way it has taken hold. In our mind, the definition of success for IT or e-government is the government works better. So e-gov per se is not the goal. It's government works better. Our customer satisfaction levels are higher. We correspond faster. We get checks to people faster. We get information in faster. We do whatever it is faster or better, clearer. And if we're accomplishing that, then e-government, IT, the $68 billion we're investing every year has been successful. And I think there's more attention to the end result focus, the purposefulness of it all, and a lot of the things that with Congress and with agency rivalries and so forth, which you talked about, a lot of those, or most of those, are behind us, and so I think the future is very rosy, not for e-government. I think the future is very rosy for the taxpayer, for the citizen, because we are, as we see down in Texas, fixing to provide much higher levels of service than we've been able to provide in the past.
Actually making better, that's a key point, because I think many of us in IT are guilty of thinking if you use more IT, of course it automatically is better. But there are some other metrics besides just how much IT you're using.
Yeah. No, it's, we say that the success, or the definition of success for financial management, competitive sourcing, better HR practices, e-government, better metrics, whatever, is programs work better. The definition of success for inspectors general is agencies work better. And if we can't demonstrate that investing all this money in IT, investing more money in e-government kinds of initiatives aren't causing our programs to work better, then we need to rethink what we're doing here. The goal is we want the taxpayer, the citizen, to be better served.
Michael, how do you, as a consultant, how do you help that philosophy take hold in an organization to really focus on making it better?
I think, as Clay points out, it's not just the IT. I think we're almost beyond e-gov as a useful term. Government is using technology to really exercise its mission and provide service to citizen. I think we're at a different level of maturity now where we want to combine the IT with workforce, with facility management, with the other assets or factors of production to really achieve the outcomes that the citizen can see. So I fully agree that the performance is the focal point here. And we're at a level of maturity. I don't think you need to be at an A+ on IT alone to be able to achieve the outcomes. I think we're far enough along with the IT that we have to look at the other facets and bring them together to truly improve mission delivery.
Along the way, of course, I think anybody in the Washington, Baltimore area watching this show has heard the phrase "getting to green."
Right.
That's maybe a culture changer. How is that going? How is that being accepted on the executive side? How's it being looked at on the congressional side?
Yeah. There's a great deal of buy-in to getting to green, as you said, which is establishing the desired level of competency and capability in IT or HR or whatever it is. And there's a lot of interest in getting to green, and it's not easy to get to green. The challenge, and the career people get it. The career people in particular get it, and that's the key. Because if they were opposed to getting to green because it was good for somebody else but not for them, I guarantee you agencies wouldn't be doing any of this. The reason I think we're making so much progress on the IT front and other fronts is because federal employees, career employees, understand this is about making HUD a better place to work. This is about making the Interior Department a better place to work. And so they are, in adopting these disciplines and habits, they are causing these agencies to be more effective. The taxpayer wins, the citizen wins, and the employees win. It's a better place for them to work, better place for them to be public servants.
And do you think Capitol Hill is getting that message?
They get it.
There have been some struggles in the past.
The fascinating thing, which tells us that it's our problem, not their problem, if some of them aren't getting it, is that some of the committees got it very early on. Some of the appropriations committees did not get it very early on. And some appropriations subcommittees got it for this agency but didn't get it for that agency, which told us that it wasn't the people that were supposed to get it. It was the agency's ability to communicate cost and benefit to the appropriators or their staffs. And it was all about our ability to educate members of Congress. And when we've done a good job of educating them, done a good job of articulating benefits to the citizen, benefits to the taxpayer, costs and service benefits, and compared that to the cost of this, knock on wood, we've had very good shift over amongst staff and elected officials to understanding what this is all about.